Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Giovanni, or Geo1207 here, and I'm here with Brian BARCZYK. We are in, what town is this?
This is actually Utica, Michigan.
Utica, Michigan, and we are here at the amazing reptarium that Brian built himself, starting with all of his reptiles, and we're gonna check everything out right now. What do we have here?
This is actually Night Fury. This is a golden child motley het anthrax. So it's just an absolutely, just that jet black, beautiful animal, super iridescent, just a gorgeous snake. And of course, this is only like 6 months old, so it's eventually going to get
They're gonna be
15
gigantic.
Yeah, exactly. So, but he's definitely a beautiful animal.
It is. We're gonna check out a bunch more stuff, including, if you turn the camera over there, we've got Elvis down here, and he is an Asian water monitor lizard.
Yep.
And how would you say he was? About 2 years old?
2 years old, just turned 2. Yep, he's my pet dinosaur. He just kind of chills out and hangs out and loves people.
All right, what is this?
This is actually Salt, my albino alligator. Here, you can take a look here.
Look at him. Look, I got him. Look at this little guy.
Isn't that crazy?
So what makes them albino?
So it's a recessive mutation, okay? So much like any kind of hair color, eye color, well, eye color actually more so than hair color, it's a recessive mutation, so it's actually stripped of all the melanin. So realistically, it's actually what they would call amelanistic, but we call them albinos. It's just the kind of generic term for it, and it basically just strips all that black pigment out, causing it to be this kind of cool color, which will eventually almost be a white with pink eyes.
How big is this thing going to get? How big is this?
Well, Salt will eventually get 10 to 14 foot.
And you think he's going to remain this tame?
It absolutely will. We'll work with him every single day, just like we have been, to keep it super placid.
Now, how rare are these?
They're pretty rare. I mean, there's probably less than 50 or 60 in the world.
Really?
It's unusual for a private person to own that. Almost all of the albino alligators in the world are in zoos around the world.
Yes.
So, of course, we do have a zoo, but it's a private zoo. So it's very rare for a private zoo to even have an albino alligator. So we're pretty blessed and happy that we have one.
This is incredible. All right, we're going to check out the next animal. We're going to put this little guy back and see you then. Look at him.
So this is, remember I was saying that the albino is amelanistic. So melanin
Yes.
is a pigment that is black. This is actually all melanistic. So this is what they would call a melanistic alligator. Again, even more rare than the albino. There's probably only maybe less than 20 of these in the world. So it's a really awesome animal. And again, another recessive mutation, but it's stunning.
This one is definitely bigger. Are they different genders for this one to be bigger?
No, they're actually probably the same gender because they were incubated the same. So these actually will incubate. Some reptiles will do what they call temperature sex determination. Mm-hmm. So they were incubated to actually both be females actually. But he's about 6 to 7 weeks older.
6 to 7 weeks older.
So hopefully Salt will be this big in 6 or 7 weeks.
This is incredible. And this is one of the rarest. Is this the rarest alligator on the planet? Would you say?
It's hard to say. I mean, there's piebald that are pretty rare,
Really?
about the same amount of rareness than say the melanistics, but definitely one of the rarest, no doubt about it. Yeah, and this is the only place in the world that you can go and see both albinos and melanistics. So we have the only ones on display.
If you check this out in the wild, if you can see the top of their eyes and their nostrils right on the top of their head. Oh, settle down. What they use those for is they can submerge their entire body underwater except for just their eyes and nose, so they're virtually impossible to see by any potential prey, correct?
That's true.
Oh, this is so cool. How big would you say he is right now?
He's 113 grams actually, so probably just shy of a foot and 113 grams.
He's super cool. Elvis is making a mess over there. All right, we're gonna put him back because he's really squirmy. We're gonna move on to the next animal. All right, so what is this creepy little thing? Look at his nose.
It's awesome. This is actually, his name is Pinocchio.
Pinocchio,
because of that nose,
makes
of course. He's actually a rhino rat snake from Vietnam. So, and they use that little appendage nose actually to kind of mimic a grub, right? So when a bird is flying up in a tree where these guys will typically inhabit, they think it's a little grub worm, and they come in to try to eat it, and then that's how they actually grab their meal. So it's a great adaptation temptation for prey.
Is he full size right now?
This is a full size. This is 4 years old. So yeah, Pinocchio has been with us. We hatch them out as a baby, and when they're babies, they actually hatch out almost like a tan to gray color. And then as they go older, they turn into this.
Is green the typical color, or do they have?
They all get
more
green like that. Yep, they'll always get green.
This guy is so cool. Is he rare? Is this a rare snake?
You know, it's very uncommon. And up until about 6-7 years ago, nobody bred these in the world.
Really?
So over the last 6 or 7 years, more and more of them are being bred. They're still rare, but not nearly as rare as they were 6 or 7 years ago.
This is incredible. And I'm guessing these guys live in trees.
They are definitely
what he's
arboreal.
doing.
Yep, that's it. Yep, they love to climb. They love to climb.
Oh, this is. Yeah. Look at this beautiful snake. What is this?
This is actually a scaleless Texas rat snake. So again, what we do is a lot of times we call them paint jobs, right? So we are actually breeding stuff for very, interesting phenotypes, and the phenotype would either be a color or texture or whatever the case is. In this case, it's a recessive mutation, much like the melanistic gator or albino alligator, but this time we're actually stripping the scales away.
It feels kind of like feathers in a way.
Yeah, it's
If
really
you pet,
soft.
If you pet backwards, it
It's
feels
really
like feathers. You want to stick your hand out there? Get that? It does feel like feathers. That's
Yes.
or it kind of feels like its skin is just gonna fall off with your hand, like flake right off, like a sunburn almost.
Yeah, it's very cool, very unusual. And again, this is a snake that we'll use to create curiosity, right? So when someone comes in, doesn't know a lot about snakes, and we want them to ask questions, and we want them to be curious, we'll have this animal and we'll say, just feel that. And they go, oh my God, that thing is so crazy. It's just so different. And it just kind of piques their curiosity, which ultimately causes us to be able to educate. So yeah, and these guys will have, down at the bottom, they still have their ventral scales on their belly so that they can still move around very well. So, and you'll even see some little, what they call remnant scales still peeking.
Is that what
through.
these are?
Yep, all those are the
We
remnants.
zoom in right here. There's
Oh,
these
I see
small
it.
little,
Yeah.
almost
Yeah.
almost translucent scales.
Exactly, and what you'll see is, some of these snakes, we produce a lot of these. Some of them have, just a handful of scales. Some of them have 50% scales. So it's pretty, and then some have no scales at all. So, and there's actually other scaleless snakes, like let's say scaleless corn snakes, that come in a plethora, hundreds of different flavors or colors. So, definitely
He is
have a
a
lot of
very
variety.
beautiful snake.
It
Almost
is.
like a tiger.
Yeah, it's gorgeous. Yeah.
All right, what is this
This is-
amazing snake?
This is one of my favorite snakes, amongst others, of course, but I really do love her. Her name is Perdita. She is a cow reticulated python. So again, she's a reticulated python, but it comes from a locality that stays a little smaller. So Lucy, my 20-foot reticulated python, is the same species as this, but Perdita's never going to get 20 foot. She's going to eventually get maybe 10, maybe 11 foot, and she's amazing. Of course, her name Perdita comes from the 101 Dalmatians, because she's a Dalmatian, and much exactly like a Dalmatian dog, she's born completely white and then creates
Develops her spots.
as she gets older, just
What
like
do
a Dalmatian dog.
what do you breed to make this snake? Like what gives her these spots?
So this is a phantom bred to a genetic stripe. So, or I'm sorry, het ghost, which is another mutation of reticulated python. So it's what they call an allelic. So it's when you have two different mutations that mold together in a different way. So they basically share a protein on an allele, right? So it's not like if you breed, say, an albino to a melanistic, you're going to get double hets. These ones come first generation. They come out and they're just wild. There's a handful of allelic animals out there, and cows are one of them.
That is beautiful. What are these yellow spots?
So yeah, isn't that weird? And that's one of the things that a lot of people that see these don't, in my videos in particular, don't see the yellow coming through. And that's just pigmentation. So she'll have black spots, brown spots, and even yellow spots that are coming through. So, and when people do come to visit, that's one of the first things they say. I didn't even know she had yellow.
Yeah,
She's so
I didn't
amazing.
notice that from
Yeah.
the YouTube channel.
Yeah, no, she's amazing.
Okay, so this snake has two heads.
Yes.
Why does he have two heads?
Well, it would be what they would call conjoined twins, right? So basically, somewhere along the road, when they were like a zygote, they were supposed to be twins, and it fused together into one body, basically.
Both of their heads are moving in the same. I would have thought that one of them was just kind of like a dead head, just didn't.
No,
move.
they have two brains. They have two separate ideas. You can see they both flip their tongues. They have different personalities. Sometimes they want to go this way, sometimes they want to go that way.
Do they both eat?
So Ben, the left head, eats. Jerry will try to eat every now and then, but mainly they share the same stomach in all the organs. So yeah, for the most part, Ben just eats.
How old is this snake?
This snake is about 3 years old now.
Is that rare for a two-headed snake to live this long?
It is, and once they hit adulthood like this, they typically live a long life.
That's incredible. How rare is this?
This is probably one of 3 or 4 two-headed adult snakes in the world.
In the world. One of 4. That's insane. That is incredible. What kind of snake is this again?
It's a California king snake.
California king snake. Are they in California?
Yep, that's where they're native to. Yep.
There you go.
But you won't be finding these guys 2 heads in the wild. That's for sure.
Is that impossible to find?
It's not impossible, but it's very unlikely.
Does it have to be like a certain breeding to get two-headed snakes like
just
this?
a complete random.
Just
You know, 1 in a million type of shot. Yep.
That's insane. Look at that. 2 heads. They're both moving in different ways. They're both moving, looking around. That is insane. And then we have Helen below.
Yep.
correct?
Helen below is the no-eyed snake. Right. She was
Zero
born
eyes.
with no eyes. Yeah. And she's just a great animal, all in all. Super placid, super tame, super personable. So I love her. You know.
I thought that she would have eyes, but just blind. But she really does not have any eyes.
Yeah. Her eyes are completely gone. Yep.
Girl. That's incredible.
Yeah, it's neat, isn't it?
Is
Yeah.
it unlikely for a snake to live long with no eyes?
Yeah, well, not long. You know, she should live a full life. It's unlikely. You know, they do face some obstacles, and many of them don't start feeding and don't make it to their first year.
Yes.
She's now a year old. She should live a full life.
Come on, sweetheart. Come on, sweetheart. Oh my gosh. Alright, there you go, sweetheart. Holy moly!
Big snake.
Yeah. Look at her.
She won't do anything. She's super tame.
Oh, here, girl. You're running away. Now, what kind of snake is she?
She's a lavender albino reticulated python.
Wow. Is she at max length, or is
she'll-
she gonna get bigger?
She'll continue to grow. She's at just shy of 18 foot. 18 foot and about 150 pounds, and she'll grow till the day she dies. She's only 8 years old, so hopefully she'll live another, 20 years or so. And now her growth is going to slow down tremendously, but she could certainly hit 23, 24 foot eventually.
That is incredible. Is this the biggest snake in the world?
It is the longest snake in the world as a reticulated python. I think the record is just over 25 foot.
You think you can beat that?
No, I don't think I ever want to. You have to feed them a tremendous amount, which can be unhealthy to feed them to get them to that size.
Whoa! Literally, just this part of her head is probably like 30 pounds. Just picking up this part of her head. What do you feed her?
She's frozen rabbits. About
Rabbits.
every 10 to 14 days she'll have a meal.
That is insane. Just this part alone is extremely heavy. And this is just solid muscle, correct?
It is muscle and bone. I mean, you got about 200 ribs in here, muscle and skin. It's pretty amazing.
That is incredible.
Yeah, she's
Look at
amazing.
this. She's just gonna keep going. She is huge. We're not even at halfway. She's got another 8 feet to go.
She's amazing.
Look at this snake. And the girth of this snake. I can't fit my hands around it. I
And
cannot
Lucy,
fit
to think about it, her sister Lucy is actually another 2 foot longer and about another 100 pounds.
100 pounds for only 2 feet.
Yeah, because of the difference in girth.
Is Daisy skinny for a reticulated python?
she's
or
just right.
Or is Lucy fat?
No, in that 2 foot, the girth is going to increase exponentially.
Wow.
So when they get to this size, they don't grow long as much; they grow wider.
How wide will she be?
She'll eventually get that big.
Wow.
It's a pretty amazing animal.
This is incredible. We have to get her back in here.
Yes, we do.
We might want to get this on camera.
She's always pretty good, to be honest with you. She doesn't. The thing I love about this place is the animals all seem to really love. You can just let her climb on her own.
Really? There she
Yep.
goes.
The animals seem to all love their cages, so it's not hard to get them back. We just kind of guide them in, and they do the rest of the work.
I like how she's very thick, and then she just gets this dinky little tail.
She's pretty awesome.
That is an amazing snake. Just keeps going.
Yeah, it's a big snake. I mean, I always tell people, until you take out a snake like this, you don't understand
How big they
how
are.
big they are. You know, when you get them out, you're like, oh my God, these things are huge. So, yeah.
There she goes.
I wasn't expecting.
Look at her. She could wrap a full circle around her cage if she wanted to.
She's a big animal. Yeah, she goes about 3 cages long, and they're 8-foot long cages. So
That's incredible.
yeah, she'll go like 2.5 long, 2.5 long. It's pretty cool. Good girl.
Thanks, Daisy.
That's amazing.
You're a good girl. She's a great snake. I love her.
Wow. All right. Thank you so
No,
much.
it's awesome. No, this is
incredible.
great, man. It's great. Keep it up.
Absolutely. Link to his channel will be down in the description, as well as the link to the website of the Reptarium. You have to check it out. They're open on weekends from 4 to 9.
4 to 9, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Yep. Special events all the time. So
This was incredible. This is probably one of the greatest experiences of my life, I have to tell
I
you.
appreciate you so much.
This is amazing. Well, I thank everyone so much for watching. Make sure to check out his channel. Link will be in the description, as I said, and I'll see you guys next time.